Hi again, everybody in Active Melody Land. I want to do another quick video as a follow-up to the one I did a couple weeks ago about learning the notes on the fretboard. I'm going to try this again. I've done this a couple times, this video, and I end up just talking in circles, it seems like, because what I'm trying to show you here is not that complicated or anything profound. It's pretty simple, but I think I'm making it more complicated. It's easier to understand than it is to explain, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to really do a real basic kind of rundown of this. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to send me a message or an email or anything, and I can explain more. I just don't want to give too much information and it can confuse you guys more than I confuse myself. Anyway, okay, so if you know the notes on the fretboard or you're learning them, the next step, what I did was apply that to navigating the minor pentatonic scale. So basically what it is once you know the notes, and the next thing you need to know, or if you don't already, is know the five boxes of the pentatonic scale. If you don't know them, Brian has a really good video in his blues course on the five boxes. So learn the boxes, and then learn where the roots fall in each box, because they're going to be the same no matter what key you're in. They're relative to the key. They're going to fall in the same spot in every box. So take one key as like a reference, and we'll use A again, and learn where the roots fall in all five boxes of the A minor pentatonic scale. For instance, in your home box, you know your A is on the low E, 5th fret, D string, 7th fret, and high E, 5th fret, right? So in that box, no matter what key you're in, the roots are always going to be in that same position within that box. Okay. Now the same thing goes for every other box, the other four boxes. So once you know the other boxes, let's take the next one up, this one in A. Your root's up here in the 10th fret of the B string. That's always going to be your root in that box of whatever key you're in. So if you're in G and you're on the B string on the G note, you're going to be in that box again, always. Now, of course, the boxes overlap, so really when you're on that G note, it's in this box, but it's also in this box, right? But it's a reference point to go to when you know when you know you're on the B string and you're on a root note, you know you're in this box or this box. And that's really the secret sauce to this, is using the knowledge that each note only shows up one time on every string up to the 11th fret, really, because at 12 it's like your open string, and then it repeats. Since it only shows up one time in every string, once you know what string you're on and you find a note of the key you're in, you know what box you're in, because that's the only way it can be. So using A as your reference, learn in every box, you know, in every string, like this one, the B string, like I said, you know you're in this box. And on the G string, right, that's this box in A. Well, that G string note, it goes for the same thing in any key. So if you're playing in B and you want to jump around and you find a B on the G string, you know you're going to be in that box again. You're going to be in this box, because that's the only thing it can be, because that note's only on the G string one time. You know, and when it shows up again, it shows up here, but it's the same thing. It's that same pattern. It's just an octave higher. So the main thing to take out of this is, when you're playing in one box, you're doing a lead in a box and a key, and you want to go to a different one, what I used to do is I would still have to go back to that home box, this one right here, to try to find another one. Like if I wanted to go up to up to this one up here, I still would have to think, all right, A starts here, and then I go up here, okay, there's the next one. But now, now that you know that you can jump around and use a root note on any string as your reference, not just that low E, when you know this is an A note, you know it's always this box, or of course it's this box, right? So on every string, that D string, whenever you're on a D, whenever you find that root of the D string in any key, you know it's going to fall right in this home box right here. So you're playing in D, and there's that G string. Well, you're in that box, or of course that one is part of the next box also. But it's always that box. So what this does is you're able to jump around from box to box using root notes instead of just starting with that home one and working your way up to other boxes. And you don't always want to start a lick or a lead on the root note. You can, like BB King, I know a lot would really love to start a lead right on that A note right there. But eventually, once you know how to get around using those roots, and that's an A, and just in your head you'll start thinking, okay, there's an A, and as you're going up there, you know what box you're in. You can be playing in something else, and then you can jump up here knowing that you're in this box and start somewhere else, and it just goes for every key, for every string. The key is, I guess key is the wrong word and get confusing, but the point to remember is associate a string with a box, and once you get that in your head and you start thinking that way, you'll know when you jump to another root note, you should instantly be able to know what box you're in, and that way you don't have to go from this home box and work your way up or down to find somewhere else. Just jump from A to A to A to A, to A to A, and you'll know instantly where you're at. And then you can jump around from pattern 1 to 3 or 2 to 5 or whatever, and it kind of opens up a lot for how to move around the minor pentatonic scale. Now this works also for the major pentatonic scale, but since everything's moved down 3 frets, it's the same idea, but all you got to do is learn the different spot where those roots fall. And again, they're always going to be the same in every key, but because you're in the major pentatonic scale, your A, it's still on that 2nd fret of the G string, but in that first pattern, it falls in the same note, same fret, but it's just in a different spot within the pattern. So, once you learn how this works with the minor pentatonic, and where each string is in relation to what box, then you can go to the major pentatonic and you can do the same thing. And then whatever box you're in, whatever key you're in, each string again is going to relate to a certain box. So basically, that's basically it. I mean, there's more to it, but again, I was kind of going around in circles trying to figure out a way to explain this, and I hope this makes a little bit of sense. But the main thing to take away from it, I think, is to know your boxes and where the roots fall in each box, and then associate a string with a box. So whatever note you go, whatever root note you go to, whatever string you're on, you should be able to instantly know what box you're in, and then go from there. And that's a nice way to jump around, from box to box. I used to see guitar players all the time be able to jump around from up here to up here and all over the place, and I had no idea how they did it. I figured they had to know the notes on the fretboard for one thing, but it's just the same idea of taking that home box as a reference point, but now you can use any box as a reference point and use that root note, and you can go to it. You can go right to it. It doesn't sound bad to start with the root note, but once you know where it's at, like I said, you can jump around, and since you know that 10th fret of the B string is a root, you can be playing down here and then slide up to 8. You're in that box, and then you're on to the next one, and then you can jump down here. There's another root. So knowing where those roots are in relation to the boxes and what string they correlate to really is the key to this. So I hope this helps some people. Let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, if I explained it way too confusing, I'm sorry. It's not complicated at all, but I'm not really great at explaining things. But it's something that really, when I realized it, it's really helped me, and I'm still working on applying this myself. I know it, but getting to use it in my playing is kind of where I'm at right now. So let me know if you got any questions. Send me a message, email, anything. And I hope everybody's having a good time and happy picking. Thank you.